Hi guys, and welcome back. I hope everyone is enjoying the summer so far. It's been just over 1 week now since Newcastle season has ended. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what to do. I've got all this time now, but what do I do with it? I'm really struggling here. But it's been great. I've enjoyed a little bit of a break, and I know in a few weeks time, once that pre-season begins, Glasgow, America, I'm gonna be straight back on it. So it's weird because this is the first time ever I honestly could just stand here now and say that I miss Newcastle. I miss going to the games. I miss seeing how the team does, because in previous years, getting to the summer was almost like your best part of the year, finishing the season off knowing you're staying in the Premier League. But now you're anticipating the Champions League, anticipating getting back underway. It's incredible. It's such a surreal feeling. But yeah, we've got plenty of things we need to talk about today, though. If you guys are new around here, we just recently hit 44,000 subscribers, by the way, so thank you so much. The road to 50k is well and truly underway. I never thought I'd be saying that in a million years, so thank you. If you're new around here and you like what you watch, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button you enjoy as well. Make sure you let me know down in the comment section your thoughts. Quickly, one thing actually before we get into this, if you guys have been following me on my social media pages, you would have seen at the minute I'm actually currently trying to buy Newcastle memorabilia. So over the next few days or so, I'm going to be making a video about all the stuff I've been buying, because I've actually got, at the minute, 10 pairs of Newcastle custom boots. I've got all sorts of stuff like that, so I think it'll be quite interesting to talk about in the video, because I've got all sorts of class stuff to get through. But I'm just saying now, if you guys are selling anything, make sure you let me know on my social media pages. And anyway, that's about it. We've got plenty of news now, so we've got to talk about Fun 88, because they are staying at Newcastle, but not in the way you might think. We've got loads of transfer links regarding the likes of Joao, Felix, and some other players as well. What is the legitimacy behind them? Are they real? Is it just the media trying to make easy money? Or is there something more behind it? We're going to try and get to the bottom of that. But anyway, though, without further ado, let's get straight into it. First off, let's talk about the former Newcastle United front of shirt sponsorship. Yes, that's right. Fun 88 is now no longer the front of shirt sponsorship, but they are staying at Newcastle United. How can this be? Well, they're staying on as the betting sponsor now, which is actually quite smart. I'll explain why in just a moment. But yes, that is correct. They are no longer the front of shirt sponsorship. The announcements came out at 12 o'clock today. Now, I kind of knew about this in advance, to be honest. I've actually had a chance to put it on there. So pretty much, if you guys have been eager on the eyes, a couple of days ago actually came out in social media, but it was essentially a cock-up. I think they put it out a little bit too early, so they had to put the announcement out again. But yeah, that's the big thing now. So they are no longer under front of shirt sponsorship. We'll be getting a new sponsor in. Chances are it's going to be Saudi related. I'm absolutely certain it's going to be Saudi related. Just like Noon, we'll be earning loads of money from them. I mean, Noon, the shirt sleeve sponsorship, we actually earned more off them of Fun 88. And that's just one of two problems we had with them. We just didn't earn enough money from them. They came in at a time in 2017. They did a good job there on the mic. Actually, we got a little bit of money off them. But now that times have changed, Newcastle are just a more ambitious club. It's just one of them ones where we need better, to be brutally honest. But they have always been great in the social media pages. They're great interacting with fans, and they've been lovely as a whole. They have been a good sponsor, just haven't got enough money from them. And the second problem with them being is the fact it's a betting sponsor as well. So the Premier League have already said that over the next couple of years, they want to cut down the betting sponsors on the front of shirt. And as well as that, of course, we are owned by the PAF. We've got activities going on in Saudi Arabia, a country where gambling is illegal. So again, it's a bit of a tricky rope to be standing on. So to get rid of them now and put them on as a betting sponsor is quite smart, because we've already worked with these guys before. Obviously, with the fact they are the betting sponsor, Newcastle is clearly happy working with them. It makes sense to have them stay at the club, but just in a different role. And I think it suits everyone. I think Fun 88's got a happy ending out of this. And I think us as fans, we can get a new sponsor in, we'll get more money, and it's going to benefit us more on the pitch. So I think it's worked for everyone. I think everyone benefits from it. And it's good to see Fun 88 stay, because honestly, they have been great with the fans, so good on them. We'll see them in some point next season as a betting sponsor, but overall, I think it's a happy ending for everyone involved. I think just before we get into Newcastle United's links so far in this summer window, it's actually important to talk about the window itself. The key dates. Is the window actually open now? What the hell is going on? So I'm going to tell you two key dates in particular. The first one being June the 14th. So that's when the window officially opens for everyone involved. Now, if you've been on social media, you've been elsewhere, you might have seen that there's already signings taking place in the Premier League elsewhere. So how can that happen when the window is not open for everyone? So we'll explain that in just a moment. But that's the first key date, June the 14th. So that's what, 9 days from now, the window will officially open for everyone. June the 30th is the second important date. So that's when players' contracts end. Now, in Newcastle, there's a few players in the likes of Jeff Hendrick, Clark. I mean, players we just don't use anymore. Their contracts expire, so then they're allowed to go on a free to wherever they want. And that's the same for every other team as well. So June the 30th is when all contracts expire and a lot of free signs will take place afterwards. So if June 14th is when the window opens, how can teams make signs now? I think McAllister's a good example. So this is a Brighton player that's going to Liverpool today. How is that happening? Now, in McAllister's case, it's a case where Liverpool's activated his release clause. So he's got a clause in his contract. Liverpool player, a set amount of money now, they're allowed to sign the player, and already the medical is taking place. Now, there's certain different laws depending on how you sign a player, you can do at certain times. As well as that, there's some other players as well. You can actually buy players towards the end of their contracts, because at a certain age you can sign them on before their contract expires in the summer. It's a bit weird, it's a bit flimsy, but overall you can only make certain signings now, is the best way of putting it. Newcastle obviously will be looking at players, be scouting players, but ultimately we're probably not going to make any signs to after June the 14th, unless there's a certain way in a player's contract when we sign a player, whether that's been a release clause or we're signing a player as their contract expires or something like that. It depends, to be honest. I'm not the biggest expert on it. But just know that June the 14th is the day where you can properly go out and just buy whoever the hell you want. It's now time to talk about Joao Felix. This is one name that constantly pops up in the media. It does not seem to go away at all. But is there anything behind this? Is there any actual links to him potentially joining Newcastle in the summer? Or is it just a load of crap from the media? So let's get through his side of things first. So this is a player that joined Atletico Madrid at the age of 19 for 126 million euros. One of the biggest transfer fees in history. This is the player that, I mean, he's just had a massive downfall, hasn't he? He went to Chelsea on loan. This is a team that's finished at the bottom 10 of the table. They don't have a striker. And even them, they don't want to extend Joao Felix's contract. They have no interest in signing the player at all. This is a team that is finished miles below Newcastle this season, despite on paper having a pretty good squad. They don't want to sign Felix, and considering Chelsea as well, they love spending money. So they don't want to sign him. And why should Newcastle, a team that's in the top 4 playing Champions League football? It's a weird one because his potential is literally the best in the world. He was up there with Kylian Mbappe levels of potential. And all of a sudden, it's just kind of fizzled out a bit. It just hasn't really seemed to click. And he's a weird one as well, because I watch him for Chelsea and he kind of has it there, but at the same time, his decision making's odd. He gets sent off sometimes for weird things. I don't know. He's just a weird player to talk about. He's somebody that I think can do a job, but he just isn't doing that job. That's the best way of putting it. So would Newcastle want to take a risk and sign him? It depends really, because if it's a loan deal, then I think it's a decent one. I think it's something I definitely would say yes to. But if you're paying an extensive amount of money to sign him on a permanent, I don't think it's worth it. So it depends how you look around it. But if I think it's a loan move or someone where Newcastle doesn't have to spend money, then I would actually say it's a pretty good one. And I think Newcastle should give the gamble a go. But if it's anything where you got to spend lots of money, I can't say yes to it. Just hasn't got it there for me. It's one of them ones where I had to see over time whether it can get back into the form he once was. But it's a strange one. It's a link that keeps popping up. Do I believe in the links? Probably not at the minute, to be honest. I probably would say they're a bit baity. I don't see like the Sky Sports, Athletic, anyone like that coming out about it. It's more these lesser articles, which I will tell you guys to probably avoid. You guys are more than welcome to listen to whatever you want or go out and make your own decisions, but I will say probably wait for the likes of Sky Sports to come out before making your judgment on the likes of Joao Felix, because I don't really see it being a real link at the minute. I think it's a case that Chelsea have said no. What's the next team think of? Oh, Newcastle, let's just dump an article about them. So I think it's one of those situations at the minute, to be honest. To keep on topic with these lesser articles, Sadio Mane, there's a lot of German articles coming out claiming that there's potential links with him and Newcastle. I wish. Imagine that one. Imagine if he joined Newcastle, or Liverpool fans after them continuing to try and throw a stick at us for some reason. I might actually make a video on that, to be honest, because I don't know why, but Liverpool fans over the past week or so, since of course we've took their Champions League spot, have just been quite aggressive towards us. I don't get it why. I should not be happy that a different team's in there. I know it's not obviously great for them, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world for them. I mean, okay, you finished 5th. I don't know what else to say. I don't know why you're so horrible towards me. So I would love us to get him just to stick it to them. But honestly though, he's also a class player as well. But do I see that one happening? No, I don't think it would happen. I can't see it physically happening. I don't think he probably would join our Premier League team. His Liverpool history, not to mention as well, he's only been at Bayern for 1 year now. We'll have to wait and see. But again, I probably wouldn't listen to that one just yet. Now, I think it is a bit more prominent is Gabi, of course, the South of Vigo midfielder. So he played his last game yesterday, scored twice against Barcelona, keeping his team up in La Liga. So what a fairy tale story end that was for him. He's class. From what I've seen from anywhere, again, I haven't physically watched the guy live, so I can't see his overall position on the pitch, how he performs with players around him, but his highlight video looks good. But then again, you can probably say the same about anyone, so we'll have to wait with this one, but he has been proclaimed to be the next Iniesta, next Xavi, next whatever Spanish midfielder I can think of. He's somebody with a lot of potential. He's getting good experience in La Liga, and he's someone that just looks eager to play, looks eager to do something, and he's the sort of player Newcastle would look towards. We do want these younger players that over the next couple of seasons will progress into much better, much fitter players, and players that are good enough to play Premier League, Champions League and multiple times in a week. So it's one of those ones where I like the look of him, I do. I think Newcastle, I think the Lynx playing this one do seem genuine. It does seem like a player Newcastle would go after. The Lynx are popping up a bit. The only problem being is that, just like many other players out there, there's other teams that want this individual. So if I like, I don't know, a Manchester City or a Manchester United, a team that on paper is a better move for the player, he probably is going to take it, or maybe a Real Madrid or something crazy like that. So Newcastle does have to compete with these world-class teams now in order to get the players we want. We've already seen it happen last season with battle with AC Milan over a month now. It was Darren Ashworth against Paolo Maldini. We've been able to get Botman in the end, and just look how he's turned out in the Premier League. So it's one of these cases now where, as these links come out more and more and more, Newcastle will have to battle with top class teams to get them in. And unlike in the past where you got maybe teams that had to worry about mid-tier, now you've got to worry about literally the best teams in the world. So it's going to be quite hard for us to attract the players we want. But with Champions League football though, we do have a bit more to us. We can go out there and really give it a good go. We'll have to wait and see over time. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video today. Apologies if it comes across a bit rambly at times. It's just unfortunate how the transfer window is at the minute. But it's still quite early on. Things will be a little bit vague for Newcastle when these articles come out. They don't really get to the point. So it's a case where I kind of got to try and fill the gaps and get around it. It's just an awkward time in the window. In about a week or so it'll be much better, and for you guys as well, the actual viewing content will be better as well when you're talking about these links. So it's one of them ones where we've just got to get past it. Once we get past it, be ready to go. So it's just one of those ones, unfortunately. So apologies again if it does come across a little bit rambly. But finally, before I let you guys go, there is actually an election going on at the minute regarding Newcastle United. I wouldn't normally promote this in the video, but I do think it's important for everyone to have their say. It's essentially the Newcastle United equivalent to the general election. So the Supporters Trust, so this is the Newcastle United official supporters group. They're in charge of essentially helping the fans out. So let's say, for example, me or you watching this video have a problem with the club. You would kind of pass it on to the trust, and then they would put it onto the club. So it's one of these ones where they've got an election with the head of it. So you guys can go on now and vote for whoever you want head. I know Pete from Loading Mags is on there. I know Adam from War Flags is on there. There's a few people I do know on there, but I'm not going to tell you personally who I voted for, because I don't want to try and swerve your opinion anyway. But I just want to let you guys know that the voting is open now. I'm going to put it down in the pinned comment if you guys want to get yourselves in there and vote for whoever you want to see in charge. It's important to have you say it, is the best way to put it. So make sure you get yourselves onto there if you're interested in voting in the Newcastle United Trust poll. But I'm not involved with it whatsoever, by the way. That's one more thing. But anyway though, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching there. Make sure you let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Take care, enjoy the gorgeous day, and I will see you all in the next one.